All right, we do have some breaking news. The Supreme Court has issued a major ruling in a case on the FDA's rules for abortion pills. Anti-abortion groups challenged the FDA's approval of Mifepristone. The court sided with the FDA. To talk more about this major ruling, we go to constitutional law attorney David Coale. Good morning, David. Good to see you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So bottom line here, the Supreme Court is preserving access to a drug that they approved, right?
Exactly. The stakes in this case were very high because from the time Roe versus Wade was decided to the time it was overruled a couple of years ago, the way abortions are performed changed. And it became primarily a medical, something done with medicine, pharmaceuticals, and in particular a drug called Mifepristone. So at stake here was the way in which the majority of abortions in states where it is legal are conducted. And the Supreme Court 9-0 held that they were not going to get into the question of whether the FDA made a mistake. They're letting the regulations stand.
I mean, that could have had major implications on all sorts of drugs.
Yes, and that was what the court said here. They decided it on a gateway issue and said, who are you people? Why are you suing? And the doctors in this case said that someday they might have to treat somebody who might be affected by Mifepristone as a result of these regulations. Justice Kavanaugh says if we accept that, then firemen can sue about building codes because someday the building might catch on fire. We just can't do that. The FDA can't function if people can come into court and challenge that way, and that makes a lot of sense. The FDA and a number of drug companies have weighed in saying that. So there may yet be another challenge to this law someday somewhere, but it's not going to be in court with this kind of lawsuit. It just can't work.
Yeah. This was a group of like anti-abortion doctors that basically said that those doctors do not have the legal basis to challenge access to the drug. So the drug, as of right now, is going to remain available to people up to the 10th week of pregnancy. This is really key. Ever since Roe versus Wade, and we've had some states, I think it's a dozen states now, like Texas, where there is a ban in place, essentially an abortion ban in place. They're seeing a lot of people get that drug through the mail. So basically still available for people.
Yes, it's all systems go. There will be new legal challenges. I mean, this rings down the curtain on this round, and now there are going to be attempts to regulate the interstate sending of this medicine in other ways. There's some other laws out there. But for today, it's a resounding win for the abortion side of the question, the side of that debate, and people are going to continue to have access to this medicine for some time until some new challenge coalesces around a new set of legal principles.
Okay. And then there's still another controversial issue, another controversial abortion case for the Supreme Court to decide, and that one has to do with like focusing on what is an emergency, what's an emergency case, right?
Yes, that has to do with the federal-state balance. We have cases, states such as Texas, where, as you point out, we have essentially an abortion ban, but you have a lot of emergency rooms that receive a great deal of federal funding. And so the question in that litigation is, can the federal government and Democratic administration condition the receipt of that money upon a certain willingness to perform certain abortion proceedings? And the label for that is the emergency care regulations. And so that presents a question of state versus federal power. It's a fairly subtle and difficult question, and there's a lot of dispute about that issue right now in the courts.
And I'm assuming that's not going to be an easy case to solve either, not one and done.
No, it definitely, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth there because states traditionally have authority, like they have done, to pass criminal laws, general applicability, but the federal government gets to say how you spend its money. That's sort of a baseline principle as well. And they come into direct contact in that case, and it's a delicate thing to sort that in a way, both for that case and for all the other thousands of situations where federal and state governments can get at loggerheads with each other.
Whew. All right. Attorney David Coale, thanks for your insight.
Thank you.